my god. Hey, what is up, YouTube? This is Darth Hater here, and I am blown away. I am simply blown away with this episode for The Mandalorian. This is quite possibly the best Star Wars I've seen since Star Wars Rebels. Or live action, I'd say probably since Revenge of the Sith. Like, all I'll say is, we got our girl. We definitely got our girl back. We got our girl back. I want to break down this video and everything for you. If you haven't seen the episode, Chapter 13, The Jedi, already, go watch that and then come back here for this. But yeah, let's go through this. Chapter 13, The Jedi. The show starts in the world of Corvus, in the city of Caldon. We see the city being shut down with the sound of a bell being rung in the background. Armed guards are being cut down by none other than AhsokaTano. And it's amazing to see her in her first live action appearance. Played by Rosario Dawson, with a stunt double being Caitlin Deschelle, who previously was in Chapter 11 for Bo-Katan. Now, the look for Ahsoka at the show is mostly based off of Rebels, with slight differences in her head tails or liku. At first, I was kind of uncomfortable with the design as it was very small and the head tails were kind of wrinkly, but then Ahsoka should be in her mid-40s and skin does wrinkle with age. As far as the head tails go, I didn't like it at first, but then I learned to accept it. I had to think about this for a moment. Somebody doing stunt choreography or any kind of fight combat with a bigger headset piece would be very stifling, so it'd be very difficult to move around in that thing. So I kind of let that pass with her design in the show. She seems to be wearing her gray hood that she had at the end of Clone Wars Season 7, with most of the same wrist armor and of course the same lightsabers that she has in Star Wars Rebels. Everything else is different, very Japanese inspired. As the guards are being cut down, you can hear in the distance a convoy, which is the owl bird that follows Ahsoka around in Clone Wars and in Star Wars Rebels. But it cannot be seen just yet. After Ahsoka finishes cutting down the guards, she goes up to the city gates to meet the magistrate and her hired gun. The magistrate is played by Diana Inosato, who is the daughter of Dan Inosato, who was Bruce Lee's fight partner. So it's safe to say that she has a really good martial arts background. The hired gun is none other than Michael Biehn, who's famous for playing Kyle Reese in the Terminator series, also Corporal Hicks in Aliens. Ahsoka is needing some information from the magistrate, but the magistrate is refusing. She threatens to kill prisoners if the Jedi would just turn herself in. Ahsoka hopes that the magistrate would change her mind and promises to return in one full day. We then cut to the Mando and Baby Yoda in the Razor Crest about to descend on Corvus. He flies over Caldon and lands in the burnt forest. Large creatures can be seen in the background eating the burnt trees as Mando and Baby Yoda walk the landing ramp onto the planet. They arrive at Caldon and walk through the gate. A smelting droid can be seen walking past the Mando. Smelting droids were first seen in Return of the Jedi, which were used at Jabba the Hutt's palace as torturing droids. Most famously, 8D8 was the droid that tortured power droids in Jabba's dungeon. One can also be seen in Galaxy's Edge roasting meat with a pod racer engine. The Mando asks for help and information, but is told not to talk to any of the people there. He is then led to the magistrate, passing by prisoners, which are being hung in some kind of cage that electrocutes them. The magistrate, seeing Mando wearing full Beskar armor, offers him a pure Beskar spear if he would kill the Jedi. The Mando neither accepts nor denies this, but just asks for information about where he can find the Jedi. As the Mando tracks through the forest after the Jedi, in one scene to the top left you can see the convoy of Morai that usually can be seen following Ahsoka around. Morai was the personification of the light side of the Force in the Clone Wars Mortis episodes. She can also be seen on a Jedi temple drawing in Star Wars Rebels. She takes the form as a convoy owl, which watches over and follows Ahsoka. This small Easter egg was kind of hard to find, but seeing as Ahsoka was in this episode and Dave Filoni wrote it, you knew a convoy was going to show up or fly over at some point in time. Ahsoka surprise attacks Mando. She slashes at his Beskar armor, which actually deflects the lightsaber blades, and this is the first time we see that in real canon. In the Clone Wars, it's shown that lightsabers can slash and attack and cut through Mandalorian armor, which I don't believe most of the Mandos in Clone Wars had full Beskar armor, but this is shown to actually deflect and hold up against a lightsaber. He blasted her with his flamethrower, which is also another one of the Mandalorian's tools and tricks to fight Jedi, which is also talked about in Rebels. The fight stops at a standstill when he mentions Ahsoka's name and that Bo-Katan had sent him to look for her. She notices the child and becomes very interested. Night falls as she sits and talks through the child through the Force. We then find out that the child's name is actually Grogu. Grogu was raised at the Jedi Temple and trained by many masters, and was hidden when the Empire rose and ransacked the Jedi Temple. Someone took him from the temple, but then his memory becomes dark. So finally, some brand new information on the child, aka Grogu, or Grogu, aka the child, aka Baby Yoda. So he grew up in the Jedi Temple, was trained by many masters. I want to know who these many masters were. And then he was saved. Somebody took him from the temple right before Anakin and the clone troopers stormed the temple. I want to know what happened with that. And then he says his memory got dark and fuzzy. I want to know where all that comes from, but we're not going to find out anytime soon. Maybe not even in this show, maybe in some other material, but hopefully sometime soon. Ahsoka then mentioned the only other being that she knew, such as this, was Master Yoda. The Yoda theme can be played, and then we all got the feel. She asked about his powers and his ability to use the Force, to which Mando just says his powers, which he sometimes uses. The next day, she tests Baby Yoda, aka Grogu, by asking him to levitate a rock. He doesn't want to do this because apparently he's hidden his abilities over the years to survive, and he's afraid. Because Mando has such a strong connection with him, she has him make Grogu move a rock. And instead of a rock, he uses something that he has more of a connection to, the shift knob from the Razor Crest. He takes the shift knob from the Mando's hand to everybody's excitement, except for Ahsoka's. She doesn't want to train him because of his attachment to Mando. Attachment leads to hate and fear, which he has a lot of. She then goes on to hint about what happened to the best of them that had attachment, aka Anakin Skywalker. And even in this moment, even though they did not play any music or any kind of other callback, you knew exactly who she was talking about. Mando decides to tell of his job to kill Ahsoka, but instead will help Ahsoka if she trains Grogu in return. It would seem the Magistrate has a small army of guards, 2 HK-87 droids, which are a nod and offshoot from the HK-47 droid from Knights of the Old Republic, and the hired gun. Ahsoka tells Mando her name is Morgan Elsbeth. Morgan's people were killed during the Clone Wars. She survived to help build the Imperial Starfleet and plunder other worlds. They then team up because no one would believe that the Mando and the Jedi would fight together. Ahsoka storms the wall and defeats most of the guard in stunning display, which is very reminiscent to her acrobatic skill and lightsaber skill in the Clone Wars and Rebels. The Magistrate and her army face off against a lone Ahsoka on the city street. She then asks the Magistrate who her master is. And at this point, this is the first time we got what kind of information that Ahsoka is actually wanting. She is then fired upon as the Magistrate calls for the prisoners to be executed. Mando then shows up using his jetpack to save them. Ahsoka hunts and stalks all of the guards and even takes out one of the HK units. A Lothcat can be seen in the alleyway. Lothcats were first seen in Star Wars Rebels. Back on the main street, the Mando helps people get to their homes as him and the hired gun square up. Ahsoka sees this, then goes to her own battle with the Magistrate. Double lightsabers versus pure Beskar steel spear. The Magistrate holds her own and even manages to make Ahsoka lose one of her lightsabers. Surprisingly, it takes a little effort to defeat her, but she ends up disarming her and then again asks who her master is, which we then learn is none other than Grand Admiral Thrawn. So all this time, she's looking for Grand Admiral Thrawn, which we last saw was with Ezra Bridger at the end of Star Wars Rebels, blasting off into hyperspace with the Purrgil. The hired gun hears this as the Beskar spear is put on the ground and pretends to lower his weapon as Mando blasts him and the other HK droid. Another Easter egg would be that the hired gun played by Michael Biehn has some kind of shotgun blaster, just like all of his other characters from the Terminator, Aliens. So I thought this was a cool little running joke. Peace is restored and then the original Magistrate is given his title back. Ahsoka walks Mando to the gate and gives him the Beskar spear, as it belongs to a real Mandalorian. He goes to a ship to give the child to Ahsoka, in which Ahsoka meets at the ship and says that she could not train him. Instead, she instructs them to go to the planet Tython, to an ancient temple with connections to the Force. Tython is a planet steeped in legends lore. It has 2 moons, the Ashla and the Bogan. She says to take him to the top of the mountain to see the Seeing Stone. Grogu must choose his path, and if he reaches out to the Force, a Jedi might sense his presence and come looking for him. At this time in the galaxy, the Jedi are very few, so one would just assume that it would most likely be Luke Skywalker, or maybe even Ezra Bridger. There's no word on what happened to Ezra yet, so I doubt that. The Mando, Grogu, aka Baby Yoda, and Ahsoka part ways. As the Razor Crest rises to the sky, Ahsoka looks on and walks away as her theme music from Clone Wars is played. Anyway, so I'm thinking that it's either going to be Luke or Ezra. Probably Luke, seeing as we have no real concrete evidence of whatever has happened to Ezra or Thrawn just yet. It's another story to tell, and obviously Ahsoka is still searching for him. I also want to know whatever happened to Sabine. Last we saw at the end of Star Wars Rebels, Sabine and Ahsoka ventured off to go in search of Ezra, so we still have to figure out what's up with that. But Tython, though, Tython was an interesting name drop. I'm surprised that they're reaching so deep into legends. Like Tython is a planet steeped in Star Wars lore. It goes way back into the comic books. It was actually the first original homeworld of the Jedi. So I'm interested to see what they do from that. It also is mentioned in that Dr. Aphra comic books, which I haven't actually read just yet. I have the stack on my desk and I have to thumb through everything, but I'll eventually get to that. As far as Ahsoka goes, I am pleasantly surprised and happy with what they did. Rosario Dawson did an amazing job. Just hats off to her and the costume team, the stunt team. I'm posting this and I'm already seeing complaints about, nitpicky complaints about her look and everything. And it's like, people have to realize this is a live action version of an animated character. They can take certain liberties with animated characters, but when it comes to live action, it has to be a little different. Like, people are already talking about her head tails being too small, and it's like, think about it. If you were doing stunt choreography and you're wearing this big headpiece on your head, you would not be able to move around, turn your head, do anything. I would know, seeing as I wear my Darth Vader helmet, and even that thing is big and heavy, and it's still hard to turn my head and do a lot of stuff. I figured that's the reason why they did that. Also, the wrinkles on the head tails also. Ahsoka's in her mid-40s. It's okay that she looks a little older in this. I don't mind that. I don't mind anything else about that, about the look of the character. I even didn't mind the fact that they didn't use Ashley Eckstein's voice. Rosario Dawson did a perfect job. It's like the mannerisms, the looks, like the smirk, everything was on point with Ahsoka. I'm just a little bummed that she's probably not going to be in the next episode. I thought she was going to join Baby Yoda, or I should say Grogu and the Mando on their journeys, but we're definitely going to see her again. I feel like this isn't the only time we're going to see her. And then Michael Biehn's character, I was surprised they used him so quickly. I was thinking he was going to be an actual real original character, or have ties to something original, because that's what they've been doing a lot with the bigger name actors that they've been putting into this. So that was a little surprising. But it's funny, they gave him a shotgun and he basically was Kyle Reese or Hicks. It'd been funny if he had his shotgun and then he's I keep this close by for close encounters. But anyway, I love this episode. I love this episode so much, and I can't wait to see where they go from here. Obviously, the Empire, Moff Gideon's tracking them, so we're gonna probably see them in the next episode. But anyway, these have just been my thoughts and reactions. This has been my breakdown for the Mando, Chapter 13, the Jedi. Even though she's not really a Jedi anymore, but still the Jedi. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments down below. Let me know what you guys thought about Ahsoka. Let me know what you guys thought about the child's name, Grogu. Like this video, hit that like button and subscribe, and please hit that bell so you can get notifications for whenever I post my next videos. And thank you guys for watching. May the force be with you. This is the way.